Come on in, babies. Sit down and let Grandma tell you a story. Something important just happened, and I want you to understand why it matters for everybody, not just for some people. The Supreme Court, the highest court in our land, just made a ruling about immigration. They said the government can stop people on the street again if they look like they might not belong here. Maybe it's because of their skin color, the way they talk, or even where they work. The court calls it reasonable suspicion, but let me tell you something. That's just a fancy way of saying folks can be judged before anyone knows who they really are. Now, some people might say, well, that's just about immigrants. But here's the truth. Once the government gets the power to stop some people without good reason, it won't stop there. It's like opening a door you can't close again. What starts with one group can spread to others. That means one day it could be you, me, or anyone sitting right here. This is dangerous, children. Why? Because our Constitution promises that we're all protected from unfair treatment. It don't matter if you were born here or came here later, you're supposed to be treated with dignity. When the court says it's okay to treat some people differently because of how they look or talk, they are breaking that promise. And once a promise like that is broken, it's hard to trust the rules anymore. And babies, this ain't the first time our country has made this mistake. Let me give you some examples. Back in the South, after slavery ended, there were laws called Jim Crow. Those laws said black people had to sit in the back of buses, go to separate schools, and drink from different water fountains. All because of the color of their skin. The law made it seem normal, but it was never right. Folks lived under unfair rules for nearly 100 years. Then, during World War II, the government took Japanese American families, even citizens born right here, and forced them into camps. Why? Because of fear, and because of how they looked. It didn't matter if they were loyal, hard-working, or had never done anything wrong. Just being Japanese American was enough to lose their homes, their businesses, and their freedom. Later, even the government admitted it was wrong. But by then, too many lives had already been broken. You see, children, when the government says, it's okay to treat this group differently, it never stops there. Jim Crow started with segregation. Internment started with suspicion. And now, this ruling starts with immigration. But once unfairness becomes law, it grows like weeds in a garden. Think about it this way. Imagine if your teacher said only the kids with brown eyes had to stay after school for detention, just because some kids with brown eyes misbehaved once. That wouldn't be fair, would it? That's what this ruling is like, punishing a whole group because of how they look, not because of what they did. That's why Grandma says this ruling is dangerous. It tells us that our country is willing to accept unfairness if it's dressed up in legal words. But we can't let that be the end of the story. We have to pay attention, speak up, and remember this lesson. When rights are taken from one group, everybody's rights are at risk. Protecting the most vulnerable is how we keep freedom safe for all. So don't forget, babies, justice for one means justice for all. And injustice for some. Well, that's a fire that can burn us all.